child. I say, come, sisters, come and take back your child. This great.
Hello. Well, everybody,
Happy Friday Eve.
happy Friday Eve. Welcome to GeesBeeCee. Women with Words. Oh my God, we have a stranger here tonight.
Who is that? I don't recognize him.
Who's that over there? Who are you?
I knew you were not going to let it pass.
Hold on. Let me take off my glasses. Who
Yeah,
that?
I can't even
Is
see.
it?
Let me see.
Yes,
That was
it
that.
My black Santa?
Oh, I guess he's coming just in time for Christmas.
Christmas coming, so he not coming outside.
Christmas coming.
I'm making my list and checking it twice.
Well, I'm on the naughty list. Forget it. I can buy my own stuff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Please share the show. We're here tonight. It's good to have Michael here with us after a long time.
Almost 1 year, Oma.
Almost 1 year, Michael. Can you imagine?
What
Just abandon us like that?
Let him tell her what he been up to.
Yeah, where have you been? Let's start the show with you. Where have you been?
Yeah.
I've been watching you guys. I decided to be a part of the audience.
Look at
So I've been watching you guys and enjoying the show.
Trouble.
we really two women there. We just say look at together. Look at.
I know, right?
You're so nonsense talking.
I know Musa will miss you too. Musa will say he missed us. We've been on Musa. Don't count. You see how your men can be prejudiced?
Yeah.
You see how Musa will let me start the show with you, how you can be prejudiced? Me, I gotta be here.
Holding the fort down.
Then you can't tell us talking about I miss you. You miss her because Maga was not here, or you didn't see us.
He messed up because Maga was not here.
Oh, good luck to him. Hello. He said we are. We're not here for appetite story the evening.
Don't worry, y'all stay tuned at the end when we finish talking to see what me. I guess
we'll talk about appetite later. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. This is Thursday. Of course, we're in the month of October. So, awareness of breast cancer. Hope to all the women and men out there. We hope you've done your exam. We hope you continue to do your monthly self-exam. Make sure you check your calendars. One of the things I love about Kaiser, this is no ad for Kaiser Permanente. They not send reminder way 2 months ahead. Don't forget to come do your exam. So I want to encourage you. Breast cancer, we hear from different research. Early detection is a whole lot better than anything else. So we want to encourage you to continue to do your exams and do your self-tests.
So I've got a question, yeah.
Ask your question.
Ask.
So, well, first thing is that's a very good promo because, like, even here in Minnesota, they encourage people. I mean, they have like when you go to do your breast, your mammogram, they have a whole spread of food, drinks.
Yeah,
they give you gift card, everything. Yes.
They will show you a cancer and make you fight for you can die heart attack.
That's the encouragement. It was really good though when I saw them do all that. You know, just to get people out there to do the test. But I get a question.
Ask your question.
Their mammogram test. They need to try and improve it, man.
That machine
get out there. I'm
I know.
serious.
That machine take the business. In 2023, they still machine your tete.
That's the only thing they have not found a better way to do. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And to some people, including myself, that got a lot when they send it up in the air and that's so much.
But a virgin like you might enjoy it because nobody testing it. So let me make one public service announcement real quick. For some of y'all out there, like, why nobody testing it? You just testing it. Just go do it, man and women. Yeah, because the nice that I got, should I tell you, left for you here. Then she said, "Can be testing it." I said, "But why you testing it? You can be mashing in the machine." She just want to play with it. So if somebody play with it for a long time and you want somebody to play with it, just go get your mammogram.
So like us you talking to now?
No, I just saying something. If the shoe fits you, wear it.
PSA.
Thank you.
So welcome everybody. Of course, like we said, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. To all of our breast cancer survivors, we reach out to them.
Yes.
We hug you. We love you. We continue to honor Mego in the month of October. Mego is doing
Yes.
so well. The baby is almost a year old now.
She said I throw her away.
Yeah.
She's
The
so
baby is
cute.
almost a year old. We love
Come
you,
look for you,
Mego.
yeah, man. Go before the snowfall. I will
Look
come
at
look for
you.
you, man.
Look at you. But
That
anyway,
happened
let
in
me
Fairtown in Minnesota now.
I know. Let me say the most important thing I love to do, and that is to call my name. My name is, and you know what? I feel so honored today that our guest reminds me of the career that my father did, talking to a lawyer. And that's so much in my power. Say lawyer. So I come and call my partner with P&T the evening. Huh?
Because we suffer in her hand today.
You know what I'm saying?
P&T. My name is Glendy Jean Juniors, and just because we have a lawyer here tonight, I am the daughter of the late counselor, former associate justice,
Yeah,
counselor,
stop demoting the party.
Counselor J.D. Bayega Juniors. What a
Okay.
privilege it is to be his daughter.
Okay.
Who else is here with me?
Okay, Bayoga Junior.
Bayo got you. She's that the boss up and understand now.
Yeah, Bayoga Junior.
And I'm
Me,
here.
I tell you, I know about that daughter. I just fall down from the sky.
She's a bully woman. She's a very bully woman.
Go ahead and say what tire with me. Just drop me. Of all the place for me to go further, I go further in Liberia. All the places. I'm Agatha Joseph. Nice to be here.
Okay,
And I'm Michael Padmore, and it's an honor and a privilege to be among these fine women tonight.
that one not true. That one I even lie. We found.
Well, not true.
When I lie, we
Even
found.
our Wednesdays,
We
know
found.
better than them on their best days.
So we want to welcome. We have a guest this evening. I think I want to flip it a little bit because we still want to give other people a chance to come on and share the podcast. So we'll probably talk about something else first, just for 2, and then in the next 2 or 3 minutes, we'll bring our guest on. This evening, we have Counselor Melvin Johnson. He's going to tell us if he's a judge. What I know is that he is a Liberian. He's our guest this evening. He is connected with Jessica Lloyd. If you remember the Jessica Lloyd story, the young lady who had a relationship with Lucas Richard, the missionary from the States. He will be here giving us some updates on where is Jessica now, what are the things they're working on, how is her health, and all of those things. So I want to encourage you, if you have questions, please put some questions. I'm sure there may be some things that he cannot answer, but we will still do what we can to get some answers. And if he cannot answer, he'll certainly tell us that he cannot answer that. But it's an opportunity for us to get updates on how well she's doing, if she's faring well or not doing so well. We want to be able to follow up, and what we can do here in the States as a community to be able to extend a hand to this young woman. So we'll be bringing our guests on shortly. So please share the podcast and invite somebody to come. If you're interested in the Jessica and Lucas story, you can come just to get updates. So I want to talk a little bit, just maybe 2 minutes, talk about the elections in Liberia. This is not a political thing, but the fact that we're from Liberia and our country, was it this year? This week or last week?
Well, last week.
Last week Tuesday, they went to the polls to vote. Every day we get a little dab of today the one winning, tomorrow the other one winning. We're up and down with it, but suffice it to say, in the most important part, it was peaceful. It was a peaceful election, even though there were some skirmishes around. We can say that it was peaceful, and that we want to attribute that fact to, first, of course, to the government of Liberia. We don't want to leave them out, no matter what. And also to all of the international community and the observers that they had there, and also to you and I, to all of us, observing, talking to people. I think Liberians, I have a high respect for Liberians who could afford it, and who took the time off to go to Liberia to be a part. What is important in these elections is that some Liberians were able to exercise their dual citizenship. They were able to go to Liberia with the new regulations, go there and vote and return. So we want to also congratulate all of the candidates. I think there were 20 of them for presidential and so many other. We'll talk to GeesBeeCee a little because I've got her now set of his. Wow, I see what she's trying to make me to go into that place right now.
What did I do?
But I'm trying not to even look at Agatha. We're talking about see what election here, our country here. But
I see you talking. I said nothing, but I want to commend you because and what is your name? The color GeesBeeCee color were keeping us up to date. So I must commend you for that. All jokes aside, and I will bring a joke back later, but you're right. It's important that, you know, for some of us in our lifetime, this is what the second or third presidential election we've witnessed. Those of us that was born in the 70s, right? Because it was the coup, and then the first war, the second war, the this, the that. We really never saw a presidential election. So this is monumental. Okay, so all joke aside, kudos, like you said, to the Liberian government. But what makes this interesting and entertaining is everything else, right? And I cannot wait, as Lenny said, I can't wait to talk. I would talk in American English. I would talk in Liberian English. Some people say I shouldn't say anything because I live in America permanently. I was told that today. But I told them I got fish to fry in that oil. As long as I sending money to somebody in Liberia, I get fish to fry. And besides that, my neighbor street, it buried the ERWA hospital. So I will say whatever I want to say. I have an opinion. And I will give it. Whether you want to hear it or not, that's your business.
It's a good thing you bring it up because I actually and I don't regret. I actually had to block somebody for saying that to me. Yes, I actually had to block them because I think it was so wrong. The first thing she asked was, "Where do you live?" And of course, she knows I live in the States. And I said, "You're not here." I said, "I'm not there, but God is there." And then she was like, "Well, God is there. Why didn't you come to vote instead of sitting down? We are the one living here. We should be talking. You're living over there." I say, "You know what? I'm gonna just cut this conversation. You come on my page. I'm not arguing. I just put you in the corner and block you."
Please say her to me. We are the one. We are the ones that are uplifting the Liberian economy. So anytime we want to talk something, we were talking. As long as you asking me to please say you smarting, whether the smarting at $20, at $50, at $100. As long as I'm paying somebody a salary. As long as I'm sending somebody to school, I was talking.
And I think one of the things after I blocked her and I thought about it, for me, I think it's the most insulting thing that any Liberian, that's just my interpretation, any Liberian can do to another Liberian to say that, almost saying that you are not Liberian enough. What gave you that right to do that?
Somebody told me, Lenny, when I went to Liberia, that I'm gonna paraphrase this, but the gist of it was y'all left us here and y'all went. So we get it right to say anything because we left to better ourselves. We don't have any rights because they stayed. That's the mentality.
Yeah, but I also think and I like to balance the narrative because equally so when we have Liberians outside of Liberia, Liberians in Liberia looking at us as not being Liberian enough, it is also incumbent upon us who live outside Liberia not to make others feel that we are better than them. Because they do have some Liberians who think, and the Liberians, and this is the narrative that we need to start talking about. This is where the healing is going to come from. When you don't feel that I'm Liberian enough and I don't feel that I'm better than you, it's something that we need to talk about. We need to, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, I think for me, it is the most insulting thing for someone to say to me, "You're not Liberian enough." I was in all of the wars in Liberia. We lost a lot of things. My dad, everybody have their different stories. So there are also reasons as to why some people are not in Liberia. And you can't just expect our Liberians to come up in here, and we've stayed so many years here that they're just going to jump up and go back home when they have so many different things that they have to deal with. So in order for all of us to heal, we have to respect one another, and nobody should. And we need to just stop that rhetoric. It's really not helpful, and I think it breeds hate. And we need to stop saying, "Oh, you're not Liberian. Oh, you're not there. All day you're talking. You're leave our country."
Who they enter their citizenship? How they enter their citizenship?
Yeah. But anyway, anything you want to add, Michael?
I just want to give a big shout out to all the ladies that, yo, come on now.
We're talking politics. You can't talk woman business yet.
Politics. I'm politicking from the video.
But man, you said that you want to
to all the ladies, there's women with words. To all the ladies that stepped out into the limelight and ran for office.
Yes.
I think it was incredibly brave.
Yes.
Of them, and and I believe right now we increased the number to 10 female lawmakers.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I believe so. I know that. Yeah, there were a couple from Monserrato, so yeah. So
Cape Mount also have the first female senator.
Yeah.
Daba Vapala. So that's a great one.
Yeah. So that was great. There was a Priscilla, I think her name is Priscilla Cooper, and Ruji Bari from Monserrato too. That also won their seats. That's great. That's great. So shouts out. Hopefully, other young women out there who are aspiring.
Well, that's what now going to Liberia running.
Not only young women, all women too.
All women too. Yeah. Okay. Older women
that's
too.
Women.
That have played their role, and now they want to take their experience, their wealth of experience, to the House or to the Senate or even to the presidency. I hope you are inspired by these women who stepped out, even those who lost for running a good campaign and stuff. Great job to you. Hopefully, we'll see more of you guys out there running, because we know what women bring to the political landscape.
There's a saying here that you can be anything you want to be. When Donald Trump ran for president and won, I'm like, damn, these people took this to a whole different level. when we ran and won, I'm like, okay, we're seeing the same thing. You too can be anything you want to be.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm sure many are aspiring to hold office, and I pray that it's for the right reason, to serve and not to steal.
We send many people home.
Well, that's the end of it.
Oh, Glenny here itching now because people should be praying.
Let's bring our guest on.
So we're gonna bring our guest on to the podcast. Like I said, we're gonna be talking today about welcome, Councillor Josh.
Mr. Johnson. How are you? We'll call you.
You gotta welcome to this platform. We're honored that you're here and that you're coming to so that we can get some updates on the young Jessica Lloyd. This is Jessica here. If you're joining us, we're gonna be talking to the family spokesman. I believe that's his role. He's going to be telling us about the story. If you know about Jessica, you know about the story with Jessica and Lucas. So we'll be hearing. So welcome, sir. How would you like for us to call you? Because we want to know contempt or quote here today.
We scared.
Yeah, I mean, usually in the Liberian public domain, they just call me Judge Johnson.
Okay.
Not Johnson. Oh, tell that Judge Judy. I will be on my best behavior today, Judge. Today, all of y'all listening, I will be on my best behavior. Judge Johnson is in the house.
So before we go into the conversation, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, so that our audience and ourselves can learn a little bit more about your career path.
Sure. I'm a very, very blessed Liberian. By the special grace of God, I was born and raised in Liberia. I was born in the Bummy Hills area Shortly thereafter, my family moved to the great metropolis of Lakbasi, Sinkhal.
See the way you're describing it.
So book.
I know, right?
Yes, I mean, where's here today? And he laughing.
So I spent my developing years there, running through the swamps, playing football, marble, all the things that kids do in Lakbasi. I attended the local government school there for my elementary foundational education. Thereafter, I moved on to demonstration off of Kim Johnson Road and Clay Street. The great Miss Rebecca Wilson was my principal and mentor, and I got a lot of whooping from her that I'm very grateful for. After that, my economic status within my family increased, and I was blessed. I left there and I went to Virginia, Ricks Institute.
Okay.
So I was on boarding school on Ricks for a few years. Then after that, I was moved to the U.S. just before the infamous war. And I've been in the U.S. off and on, going back Liberia, but I've been here since. Atlanta, Georgia is home for me. I finished high school here. When I left Liberia, this is where I landed. I finished high school here. I did all of my schooling. I served here as a judge, as the title says, as chief judge for 7 years. Exactly where I'm sitting. It's where I finished high school, the same county. I'm one of those people, when it works, I don't change it. And so I've been literally here for a very, very long time. I'm blessed. I have a very beautiful, understanding, I should say, fine Liberian woman for a
There
wife.
you go. That one I want to hear it said. I want to work here the fine Liberian woman. I was just waiting for all the things when you talking before you got to me talking about fine other woman, and I see what problem. But say that fine Liberian woman.
Now what's this? You really belong right here.
You belong here. You're coming across different Josh. You're not going to be easy to eat.
He really blessed until he blessed.
Yes.
She's God-fearing. That's probably her best characteristic.
Great.
It helps her to endure my growth, because I'm still growing. But we're blessed with 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls.
Amazing.
And I bleed Liberia. In the Johnson family, that's a motto that we have: God first, and then we bleed Liberia. And so even as I present and I introduce all of this, it should be known that she was the one who actually brought this issue to me, and she's been behind me and with me throughout the efforts. It's just somebody's got to help the kids. They just literally, the youngest kids just came back from soccer practice. And so she had to take them today. I'm a coach on the team. I couldn't go today, and she had to take them. They just came in. And so she's behind me, supporting me. But I'm blessed, and I love everything Liberia, to improve it and do it the right way. Thank you.
So thank you so much. So I'm sitting here, and now when I talk to people and they say, you know any George, I will say, I know George. I know Chief George. Chief George.
Yes, I wanna. She said, Judge Johnson. Yes, I wanna. Let me relate that to you. See,
I know, right?
I will reach that part.
Let me
Let
say
it show Kenny.
No, let me claim the judge now. Judge said he went to Ricks Institute.
Uh-huh.
So my ex-husband was on Ricks
Look at
Institute.
that wish here.
And his mom was even the principal for Ricks Institute. So you know that my family. Yes, Miss Minor is my former brother-in-law. I was married to Lester.
Oh, come on.
Hey, see, that was family. Hey, see, Glenny, claim the judge.
I even talking to that woman because she know Lester than my cousin, so I'm not even talking.
Oh my God. Michael and Lester, yes.
Your family, yeah, your family.
Yes, you're home. So tell us, we're so proud of you. We're proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Your family. I like that you said for a husband to amplify your wife, like how you've done, and the fact that you're saying that you're acknowledging that you're growing. So we want to congratulate you on all that you've done and the role that you play right now in the court system in America. But tell us, how did you how you got connected with this case. Why are you laughing, Michael?
Something in the comment.
You read in the comment and said that man, a pastor to someone behave. He didn't
Oh,
let me.
don't worry, you anoint us. Yeah, Leah.
He didn't like me.
Josie, don't mind people in here. Tell us how we're here to talk about Jessica. Tell us about you. I know you mentioned about your wife and bringing the story to you. Want to hear a little background about how you got involved in this case.
So the incident transpired on September 14th when Lucas Richard attempted to murder Jessica, and thank God he was unsuccessful. After the incident transpired, Lucas was taken to the local police station. Lucas is married and was living with his wife, his American Caucasian wife, there in Liberia. And so when he got to the police station, perhaps realizing he would be there longer than his wife would be expecting him to come back home, he called her and attempted to preempt the story. And so he told her a lie that he had been robbed and he was at the police station and they were heckling him and trying to get money from him, this, that, and the third. When the wife got this story, she's innocent, she's being deceived, she doesn't know it yet. She understandably calls some contacts they have here in the US and she relays that story. The contacts in the US then calls this church in question, that is the central church in all of this, and shared with them what the wife had told the contact. The church now posted what the wife had told the contact that had told the church. The church posted this on their website. This church is in the Des Moines, Iowa area. There are actually Liberians that attend this church. And so in light of the story that Jessica's mother, Miss Cynthia Lloyd, had put in the social media domain, many people, including myself, we had learned the truth. And so having learned the truth and reading what this church had posted, in essence, trying to make Lucas the victim, they're trying to rob him, they're trying to get money from him, they're trying to bamboozle him, naturally that upsetted a lot of people, including myself. And so the incident happened on the 14th. On the 15th, the church posts this message on their website. On the 19th, so about 4 or 5 days later, people calling, myself included. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't live in Iowa. And so eventually the schedules, the church, the local pastors, the local Liberian Association leadership, all of the schedules were able to comport so that they had a meeting and apologized.
He's off.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Explain how they got.
Go ahead.
You cannot hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, so in the meeting, the church spoke up. They apologized if anybody had been offended or harmed by what they posted. Then they explained how they got the information and how it got to their website. And while they were doing that, there were many Liberians at this meeting. There were many very disgruntled, very angry Liberians at this meeting. And despite what the church had explained, they went on cussing the church, cussing the pastor, threatening them, introducing all forms of conspiracies against the church. For example, they indicated that they felt that Lucas had murdered other people with the assistance of the church, with the cover up, with the support of the church. There may be bodies that he had buried there in Liberia. They went on to say that the church and others would likely help Lucas to run away from Liberia. They wanted the church to commit that if Lucas did escape Liberia, that they would ensure that he would be extradited back to Liberia and all sorts of stuff of that nature. The Liberian pastors who were present, they clearly understood what the church had said. They attempted to tell their own people that, listen, I run a church. If I get a call and that says John is in the hospital, he's been in an accident, pray for him. I don't request police reports. I don't request medical records before I do that. I just pray for John. Additionally, in my church, there's been people who have been charged with driving drunk. There's been people who've been involved in domestic violence. In as much as it wouldn't be fair for anybody to castigate my church and say, my church told this guy to drive drunk or told this guy to hit on his spouse and his children or act a fool, it likewise would be wrong for us to attribute the actions of Lucas to this church. Wow. Those people then turned on the pastors. They started cussing them out. When the local Liberian association leadership tried to step in, they turned on them as well. Long story made short, the meeting ended in chaos. There was nothing fruitful that came out of the meeting. And this was on the 19th of September. So the 14th, the incident transpired. The 15th, the church did the posting. The 19th, this meeting that ended in chaos occurred. On the 23rd, which is 4 days later, my lovely wife is having this random conversation with a sister that lives in Iowa. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about Liberian affairs, and the Jessica story comes up, and the sister in Iowa says, guess what? We had a meeting here, girl. Let me tell you what happened. Da 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 da. Right. And so my wife says, hold on, let me get Melvin. So she comes in. She says, you need to come and hear this. So I get on the phone and I hear what transpired at this meeting. By this time, I had been more informed. Of course, I knew the truth. I did some research on the church. This church has been in existence since 1914. That's about 109 years. This church has sponsored missions, not only in Liberia, but Haiti, Uganda, many African countries, Asia, to the tune of 50 plus countries. In total, this church has raised and donated $2 million to missions in Liberia and other places, doing all of this with only a congregant size of about 130 people.
Wow.
Yes. In Liberia, there's a school that is educating 200 plus of our precious children, our future. There is a clinic there that's helping our sisters and aunties and mothers who are pregnant with much needed prenatal care and medication. They're also helping, others as well. And they have a church trying to pull some of our people out of hell and pack heaven. And so all of these things are going on. So very long story short, when I put all this together, I told the sister and my wife, I said, listen, we need to do something. We cannot allow things to fail and remain as they are. We must intervene. I'm concerned that because Lucas has been arrested, Lucas's wife, chances are she's no longer in Liberia, because most people in her position, your husband has been arrested. This is a public thing. The people are angry. You're not going comfortable as a woman just by yourself in this country, just living there with no husband. So more than likely she's gone. Lucas served as the chief administrator of this mission. In other words,
can I interrupt you for just 1 second? I just want to get some clarification before you move on. So I understand the church now, and thank you for the information, because we weren't privy to all of this. We, the internet citizens. So my question is, did the church send Lucas to Liberia? I didn't get that.
Very good question. No. So in missionary work, when I was on RICS, back in the days, was done differently than it is today. Like everything else, it's evolved. Today, the way it's done mostly is that the churches don't necessarily have a church member from their congregation that they send out, okay? Today, there are what I term, they have a term for it, but this is my term, I call them freelance missionaries.
Okay.
And so, for example, if you decide, you know what, the Lord has called me to be a missionary, you prepare your CV, you go through the channels that exist, you shop your CV to the various churches that have budgets for missionary work. they will fund the mission that you work on. And so is the relationship between this church and Lucas. Lucas is not a member of this church. Lucas has never been a member of this church.
But the church funded his mission. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, the mission in Liberia employs 29 people.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas and his wife are 2 of the 29 people. They had the mission.
Okay.
But there's 27 other people, healthcare providers, teachers, administrators, and so forth.
So in layman's term, I'm just trying to connect, or for my understand the connection between Lucas and said church. So if I can paraphrase what I understand is that Lucas is quote unquote an employee of this church. Or the church mission.
No, he's not an employee. There's a mission there that's called the Indigenous Mission, TIM. Lucas is one of the principals in this mission. There are Liberians that are part of it. This church is sponsoring financially that mission, along with Lucas, his wife, and 27 other people, the school, the clinic, the church, and so forth. So that's basically—
Thank you for the clarification.
Additionally, this church is not the only sponsor of that mission. I am told there's 6 other churches that as I said, it's sort of like a freelance missionary model that is being practiced today. Those 6 churches, including this church, are the ones who were sponsoring the mission. This church has only gotten the light because of their posting.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Understood. So, it's I understand what you're saying. When I did attend a church and was part of a church, the mission work that we did, we went as representatives of the church. However, I do know there are freelance missionaries. So I was trying to understand the connection of who vet these people out. Any pedophile can go to a church and say, here's my CV. I want to go to Jamaica to save souls. Who does background check, or whose responsibility is it to vet these people out before putting them into these very vulnerable situations?
Well, that is a quite a thought-provoking question that I don't know the full answer to. Now, I imagine that the church would likely primarily be interested to see, is this person a minister? Do they have a history of doing this kind of work? Do they have a passion for this? Are they moving there with their family, which would indicate some kind of commitment? And yes, perhaps some kind of criminal history, some kind of background, I imagine, would be done. In this case, I don't know all the details in terms of what was done. But again, this church is one of—
Understood.
that are sponsoring what is going on in Liberia.
Understood. Thank you.
All right. So I want to follow up on the connection with so I know your wife gets you involved, and then now you're involved in the story. I want you to talk a little bit about your role with the family. The fact that you are here today, when Michael informed us that you're like the spokesperson now for the family. I want you to talk a little bit about your role. What are the things that you can and cannot do? Because I think just seeing the audience comments here, they're interested in this conversation this evening. So it's a good thing that we have you on. Just tell us a little bit about your role, and then tell us also a little bit about Jessica and what she's doing.
Absolutely. So after that conversation with my wife and this sister who was in Iowa, I inquired of her to share with me some of the stakeholders who were present in that meeting that failed. Stakeholders who were what I term reasonable, like-minded people that we could come together and go back to this church. And then I also decided right then and there, I wanted to get in contact with the family. That what I had in mind was, which is what's coming up on Sunday. Before I even go deep, let me talk to the family, make sure this is something that they would go along with. And so through my contacts, I was able to get in touch with the family. I've talked with every member of the family. It's a 4-member family. There's Mr. Andrew Lloyd, who is the father. There is a Miss Cynthia Lloyd, who's the mother. And both Mr. Andrew and Miss Cynthia, they have 2 children. It's a set of twins, Jessica and Jesse. They're 21 years old. And so immediately I contacted the mother first, Cynthia, because she was the one, at least for the story, who had been more vocal and had the presence on the social media. And so I talked to her, explained to her what was going on. She was broken to learn that there are people this far from them that care, that are interested, that want to do something selflessly for them. And she basically says, we're all for it. Let me know what we need to do. We need help. She explained, this is segueing into the other question about Jessica's health. She says, we're struggling. Jessica sustained a blunt force trauma to the head before there was the attempt to slit her throat. And the information the mom gave me, that blunt force trauma has caused a lot of blood to settle on her brain from the scans that are available locally that they could do. There's a lot of blood, the mother said, that's on her brain is coming back in the scan. As a result of the blunt force trauma, the injuries she received, the mother also explained another challenge they have in that Jessica is not able to keep down solid foods. And so they're recommending they buy juices and give soft foods and things of that nature. To give you an idea of the socioeconomic standard of the family, the mother sells down water side. She's a market woman. The father, he works, as we say in America, who won't work? You know, he does security, whatever he can. So just putting food on the table for such a family usually is burdensome as it is in Liberia. But then when you say that the food must be juices and things that normally the average Liberian people in their shoes normally don't consume every day, you make it even more burdensome. Additionally, the government had isolated Jessica for her safety because of the public interest in the case. And so the mom was literally attending to Jessica at her bedside round the clock, which meant the things she could do in the market, she wasn't able to do at all. And so when I called her right after that conversation, you can imagine the emotions that she shared and the gratitude she had that there were people this far that were interested, and we praise God together and so forth. And so that began the relationship. And over time, I've talked to every member, as I said, the father, I've talked to Jesse. Jesse, as I said, is 21 years old. He has an ambition in IT. Jessica has an ambition to be a nurse. And it's a lovely family. Now, it's a lovely family. I'll leave it at that for now.
Michael?
All right, Judge. How is Jessica's mental health?
Jessica's speech, it's somewhat still slurred.
Okay.
Her motor skills have not returned. She's not altogether there. The blood is still very visible on her brain. As I said, her digestive system is not working normally. It's sort of a very, very, very severe American football concussion injury kind of deal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been, the incident happened on September 14th, so there's the 19th. So we're a month and a week removed, and she's still, the last time I talked to the family, she's still pretty much in that condition.
Same condition.
How is she doing? How is she doing mentally? How is she? I mean, she was attacked. Her throat was slit. I mean, that is traumatic. And I know we're talking about her physical health and stuff, but have you been able to ascertain how she's doing mentally? How how's her behavior? How is she? You know, how's her behavior with, around her family and friends? Is she isolated? Has she been able to at least come out and into engage with others and family members and friends, or do something positive in her life since the attack?
Yeah, I can give you the circumstantial, pardon me, being a lawyer, I can give you the circumstantial evidence
Yeah.
in relation to that, and you can draw your own conclusion. She's 21 years old. She's been isolated since the 14th of September. She's practically been bedridden. She's not consuming the normal food sustenance that she's used to. The family's struggling to get juices and the things that the doctors say that she consumed. The mother is the only one that's permitted in, the government says, for her safety and for security reasons. And so when I've talked to the family, I've tried to be as sympathetic and understanding as I can. And so I don't press too much on, her mental and all that stuff. But again, looking at the circumstantial evidence, the evidences around the circumstance, I think we can see that a 21-year-old female beginning the prime of her life to be going through this, that would be very mentally tasking.
Yeah, especially done by someone that she trusted because she had a relationship with him. Can I just rewind a little bit? And I see a lot of folks asking about what she needs. We're going to get to that. I just want to revisit how she got here. If Judge Johnson, you can actually speak about that. What do you know about the relationship with someone said, don't call his name, just say it way, man. Because we're still mad at him, right? And that's our way, of being mad, right? But Lucas, what was the relationship with Lucas? She's 21, so she's legal. I thought she was younger than that. So thank you for clarifying that. Can you tell us a little bit about how they met, what she thought this relationship was? How come she didn't know there wasn't a wife? I mean, we're in the age of technology. So can you help us understand that part?
Yeah, this is a question that somewhat causes some conflict, but I'm comfortable answering. It causes some conflict because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, the cause I represent to help this, I would call her a child, to help this child and her family. At the same time, I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ, and I don't bite my tongue about that. The Bible is very clear. What God has joined together, let no man, no woman put asunder. I know we come from a culture of many generations of this pervasive sin of side chick and all this nonsense that the Bible says bring curses on the land. And so she knew that he was married. She was inebriated with whatever he felt he fed her. But the truth is, she knew he was married. It was wrong then. It is wrong today. It'll be wrong tomorrow. This is something that we need to speak about. This is something, especially us Liberian men, need to speak boldly and loudly about. We need to declare this is a sin. This is not a mistake. This is not a trip up. This is a sin that is bringing curses on our land, okay? We're in this very hot, tumultuous political season. People want the best for Liberia. If we really want the best for Liberia, this is one of these things we need to stamp out, because this is bringing curses. Curses are not good. You can't go forward with curses. You cannot prosper with curses. The Bible says God is not mocked. Whatsoever people soweth, that also they reap. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. I almost said amen, but being the heathen that I am, I didn't know whether we're in church or whatever. But thank you for clarifying. I like to bring a little humor when things get, But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. My next question is, she's in the hospital. We know uh, uh, um, the medical whatever environment in Liberia is not the
Structure.
best. The structure, thank you. You're talking about blood on the brain and all these things that scares me. I'm not a medical professional, but we got two nurses sitting here with us and I can see them on their faces. What are the plans? What are the next steps? She's been in the hospital for a month and a few days. What is it that they're telling the family? And then maybe we can go into how can we help?
What you mean? What are the medical practitioners in Liberia telling the family?
Yes. What is the next step for her? What can they do for her, if anything?
Well, I mean, the reality in our country right now, if you don't have status, you don't have money, you don't get the best care, right? And so, honestly, from talking to the family, they're not hearing much. They don't know what the next steps are. They're just praying and believing God that God would use some people and intervene and a miracle would occur. But, they don't have much resources. They don't have name. They don't have clout. And when you're lacking those things in our country, the reality is, you don't get much information. So from the family's perspective, in terms of what the family knows, they know very little. They're trying to take it one day at a time. The next step, as far as on this end, first, we're trying to get through with this fundraiser to have it be successful. Then thereafter, there's already plans in place. I'm kind of jumping the gun, but since you asked the question, let me honor it. There's also plans in place to try to bring her on one of those medical missions to get treatment. And so, Mr. Padmore, your distinguished panelist, we've had conversations about that. I've talked to several other people in different hospitals. Atlanta, we have the Emory hospital chain here, some Liberians that work at Johns Hopkins, different places. We've had conversations to move forward to see what we can do to put that in place. And so on this end, those are the next steps we're trying to get to. But first, we'll want to do a fundraiser, get Jessica the right food, get her the right sustenance, at least maintain her, sustain her so that she can be healthy enough to travel, God willing, when that door opens, when the opportunity arises.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think we kind of introduced the next step. Want to talk about a little bit about the fundraiser. I actually shared where people can go to make donations, and people already asking why is the church name on the donation. So I want you to talk a little bit about how you've been instrumental in right now from what we're seeing and we're hearing. You've been able to bring the two groups together. Of course, Liberians are still upset. They were aggrieved. I mean, we saw, and let me just congratulate those few Liberians who immediately following the incident, who took to the social media waves and posted and talked about it, and also the Liberians that live in Iowa who actually went to the church and had some placards up showing that also created an attraction for where we are today. So I want you to talk about what is the church's role. We understand that, the fanatics with whether he was the missionary, he wasn't working for them and all of that. But where are we now with the church in Liberians or the church in your group, meaning that you're representing us? How have you come together so that when people see the church's name, they can say, oh, and I gave him money?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Very good question. So beginning at the meeting on September 19th, that when it resulted in chaos, okay? Mm-hmm. At that meeting, I was told, when I was told about the meeting, and this is part of what also attracted me to this effort, I was told that the church explained how they got the false information and why they posted the information. I was told that the church tendered an apology, that if anybody was hurt or injured, certainly that wasn't their intention. And the church asked a rhetorical question, wide open question. What, if anything, we can do for whatever harm that we've caused? And when I heard that, ding, 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 ding started going on, and I got very, very, very excited. And so in due course, the church was contacted. We've had several meetings and so forth, and the church has continued in that vein. And so it was decided, let's have this unity, praise, reconciliation service right there at the church,
Beautiful.
bringing back the Liberian pastors, bringing back the Liberian community. There are many friends of Liberia who have joined on this effort there in Iowa. There are other churches that are not Liberian churches that have joined in. And so this church has volunteered their facility on this Sunday, the 22nd, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. their time to host this service. The church has also agreed to provide food, refreshment, drinks for everybody that will attend. The church has told their congregants, even though we're having service regularly in the morning, all of you, please come back, be a part of this, and all of you donate. The collections for that day and whatever else you can give will go to this purpose, okay? And so given that this church was central in the very beginning and they've been central in the location, so in different discussions, it was agreed that this church would establish a tab on their webpage to have one central location that will collect all the funding. And there's a group of people, myself included, that will be part of the accountability, if I may call it that, the accountability team thereafter to go to this one place to see what was collected and then also to see to it that it get distributed. And then, of course, we're in touch with Jessica and her family. We'll tell them ahead of time, this is what was collected. I just left the accountability meeting. This is what you should expect. Call me when it get in your hand and verify receipt of it. And so in a nutshell, that's the role this church has played from the beginning up until now. And that's part of the reason the church remains very central in all of this.
Judge Johnson, in the beginning, you said there were multiple churches that were sponsors of this mission. What happened to the others? Have you been able to reach out to them? Are they willing to assist? And I ask this question because, and you know, I know the church isn't quote unquote technically responsible, but I'm afraid I don't agree with that. If you're going to send out or sponsor a mission, I think you need to do due diligence. And I believe all of the folks that supports this mission should be equally responsible and not just this church. I'll give you an example, and I'm saying this not for you, Judge Johnson, but for the folks that are listening to us. When we as Liberians, and I'm saying Liberians because this is what we're talking about, we have to make sure we hold people accountable. We have to make sure that we do due diligence whenever we get involved in anything. When Michael brought this topic to us in our chat, we had quite a few back and forth conversations, right? Before and nobody felt offended of the questions that were being asked. Who is this man? How do we know we can trust him? Blah, 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 blah. We wanted to make sure we vetted whoever we brought to our audience to be able to help Jessica. And that's what this show is about. We want to promote all things good Liberians, and we want to shame out all things bad. So equally so, I personally feel, and this is my personal opinion, not that of the show at all. I personally feel if an institution is going to support, sponsor, accommodate another individual to go and serve underprivileged, disenfranchised people, disadvantaged people, they themselves are responsible to do due diligence. And I commend the church, the first church, but I think equally so all of the others. So have you been able to get in touch with those other church? And if so, what have they done? If not, why not?
Yeah, very good question. First, let me respond to the due diligence concern. One of the things I want us to be very careful of is to remain factual, okay, and not assuming. I don't know the process in detail, but just because I don't know the process in detail doesn't mean there weren't due diligence done. We don't have any fact that tells us that this guy has a history. There's a criminal record on his NCIC, stands for National Crime Information Center, which is the national background. We don't have any facts to that effect, okay? And so I don't know, that hasn't been my focus in this course. So one of the things I want to caution us is to remain factual, okay? Until we know that Lucas had, this kind of proclivity to do this stuff. He has a record. There's some track to doing this. Then we can, I think, talk about due diligence and go down that road. But since we don't know, we don't have any, then I think we should wait and remain factual. Because the fact is, people who are vetted, people who due diligence are done on, they have an independent mind. They act independently. At times they act irrationally, and at times they act criminally. And so just because somebody is being sponsored to do a work and they decide to act irrationally or criminally, that doesn't mean we attribute responsibility to the people who are sponsoring that, right? I mean, there's so many examples we can give of those in our case, right? I'm assuming all of us at one point did or belong to a church. Those churches sponsor cookouts. Those churches, they sponsor different events. If John comes to the cookout that's being sponsored by the church, he's a church member and he starts groping on women and doing stuff, how responsible is the church for John's actions there at the cookout that the church is sponsoring, right? Without more information. Now, if John has done this before, the church is aware of it, they're sweeping it under the rug, we've got facts to that effect, then yeah, I think we talk more about due diligence and responsibility and so forth. So I just want to make sure that we're cautious with how we approach this, that we remain factual along this path. So moving on to the other churches, part of the reason that I'm aware that there are other sponsors is that, yes, I've had conversations with different people. They will have representatives there. I don't know if all of them will be there. I've only been limited to telephonic discussions. As I said, I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and these other people are scattered around the country and some of them in Iowa, but many of them have committed. Number one of the things that was of great interest to me and the rest of the people I'm working with was that these people don't stop sponsoring what they're doing in Liberia because of this and the backlash they've received. Because again, remember, we've got 200 plus of our children that depend on the education, right? We got many of our pregnant sisters and mothers and daughters and so forth that need the treatment, the medication, and others. And so one of the primary objectives in speaking to these different people that are sponsoring these missions is please don't shut it down. If you need Liberians to step in, you need other things, we will work with you, but don't shut it down and don't harm our people. And then secondly, what can you do to that we can come together and raise funds and turn what has become a very horrific, negative situation into something positive and productive?
All right, so I don't want to take away from the fundraiser for Jessica, but I do still want to make sure that I drive this point to you because I think you're in a very opportune position to help the situation. By no means do I want anyone to stop the help if it's good help. I often say all money ain't good money, and Judge, all money ain't good money. If you don't, if your example of a church having a cookout and someone this and that, if a church was having something that was related to children, underage children here in the United States, I don't have to tell you, I'm saying it for our audience, they do a background check. And that doesn't mean you will find anything, but there's still stuff that's done to ensure that, you know, if this guy is a pedophile, I'm using that word because if this child was a student of his, he should understand, you know, the levels and not mess with her, right? And I still think that's something that I hope you will continue or will look into to get your facts. I hope it won't be swept under the rug just because we don't stop the support.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in 2010, I deviate a little bit, but let me this kind of makes the point. In 2010, just as the Lord, I believe the Lord providentially put this in my lap, a similar, somewhat similar situation involving our country, our people fell in my lap. In 2010, there was a family, a Caucasian family in rural Oklahoma that adopted 5 of our Liberian daughters, 5 sisters from one family. The mom and dad had 5 daughters. The mom actually died in labor with child number 5. And so this family came to Liberia, adopted all these kids. The youngest was 4 months old. The oldest was 12 years old at the time. When they took them back to Oklahoma over time, unfortunately, the family of 4, mother, father, son, and daughter, they systematically abused, they tortured the son, who was, I think, 19 at the time, repeatedly raped these babies. Very, very long story made short, one of the neighbors discovered what was going on, called the cops, researched me through some Liberians, and long story short, I was contacted. As I said, I believe the Lord providentially brought that fight to me as well. Very, very long story short, over a period, about a year, almost 2 years, year and a half, I was commuting back and forth to Oklahoma to fight against that family. Very, very long story short, the Lord gave us victory. And the children were delivered, they're safe, they're like my kids today, they're all grown now. I stay in contact as much with them and so forth. But as a follow-up, even though the Lord had given us victory in that case, as a follow-up, I went to Washington, D.C. I met with the 2 senators from Oklahoma to share with them what was going on in their backyards, and also to tell them that I felt we needed to look into what was going on in Liberia with our children. Yes. And as a consequence of those conversations and others, you all may remember, there was a season where all adoptions were shut down in Liberia. It was a consequence of those efforts. Unfortunately, the president directly blamed me. The government officials, they turned on me. They felt that I was putting our country in a bad light. They felt that I was one of those Liberians that were making it difficult. I was holding back the revenues, the coffers of the country for the adoptions and so forth. Of course, after they showed that they had the right protocols and things of that nature, or at least they appeared to have shown, I don't know, but the adoption moratorium ban was lifted. And so let me assure you that I have a track record of not only trying to accomplish the immediate goal, but to also make sure that these things are not repeated. And so this cause for me, just like the Oklahoma cause, even after we got the victory, the case went to the Supreme Court, the balloons went up, we had the big parties, I still persisted in making sure to see what was going on in adopting our families. In that case, the family that adopted the children, they had their own biological son that they had abused. He had run away from them. He had moved from Oklahoma to Denver, Colorado. Through my research, I located him. He shared all of that with me. And of course, that additionally drove my passion to make sure that no such family that was similarly situated would do such things to our precious children. But as I said, my family and I, we've suffered tremendously because of that. We became enemies of the state and so forth. So I would do everything I can, God willing, to make sure that I go through, find out their due diligence process. And if there's any history on Lucas and so forth, you guys permit me, I will come back and report to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better. Thank you.
Michael, you have any additional questions?
So just so there are a lot of people. We have a lot of people in our audience. So we know the fundraiser is going to be on Sunday, this Sunday the 22nd. We know it's going to be between 5 and 7 p.m. Central Time, which is 6 to 8 Eastern. Um, so for those that are in our audience who are not going to be able to, who are not going to be able to go to Iowa to be in, to be present there, um, is there anything being done maybe to live stream the broadcast or something that they could follow with the broadcast and donate?
Yeah, I'm connecting several, the names I don't have before me, but I'm connecting several of our media outlets similar to you. I'm trying to connect them with the technical crew at the Creekside Church because I know they've got cameras, they've got technology they use readily. I'm in the middle of connecting them to see if that can be done. God willing, tomorrow we'll have an answer to see if it's something that is feasible. So that it'll be live streamed. In terms of answering even a broader question, tangential to the question you're asking, people who are not in Iowa, we want you to continue to spread the awareness of what is going on. From history, we learned in our great country when the citizenry have great interest in a case and they're expressing that interest, things tend to not get swept under the rug. Justice tend to be, I say this carefully, right? Justice tend to be more forthcoming, right? And so to further your question, people who are not in Iowa, we want you to donate to the fundraising effort, but we want you to stay engaged, stay concerned, let the awareness continue. So hopefully the pressure of justice would prevail, that the great wheels of justice will turn and turn as they are designed to do.
Okay, all right. So my second question is actually going to be a question from the audience. I'll see if I can put it up there, and then I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read it to you. Somebody says, I went to the link shared. I'm skeptical in that this is not specific to Jessica, rather donation to the church. How can we be assured that the funds raised will all go to Jessica?
Well, I am leaving my family tomorrow. I'm flying out to Iowa. The program is on Sunday, and I will do everything I can. I'm working with a team of the Liberian pastors who are there. I'm working with the leadership of the local association, Liberian Association. I'm working with prominent friends of Liberia. We're working with other churches that have missions, not only in Liberia, unrelated to this mission, but also are interested in Liberia and this church. In all those different groups, we've got representatives that are going to be on this accountability committee that will assemble after the fundraiser to make sure we account for all the funds that are raised. That's the best that I know that we can do, given the temporal constraints that we have, as well as the other limitations.
Okay.
All right. So, Judge Johnson, we want to appreciate you, appreciate your wife for bringing the story to you. We want to appreciate you for stepping forth to lead this effort. I have daughters that are older than 21 years old. So for me as a mother, I think it's sad. Just thinking about the family, their economic constraints that they have, and that now all of a sudden their lives have changed. And they're now set out there where people internationally know of them, and I know it's not easy for the mom to see her young daughter go through whatever it is, the agony, the pain, the going from just up and being able to do everything, they're almost right now not being able to even eat solid food. That can also be hard. So from us here at GBC Women with Words, we want to say thank you. We want to appreciate you. One of the things we do here is once you've come before, this platform has equally become your platform. if there's anything that you need to share, if you need to come back on to help promote what we're doing, so that we can ultimately get the help for Jessica that she needs. We will make some donations also to this effort, but we want to make sure that we hope that she will be able to, if not come to the States for treatment, she can go to some other country that will be able to care for her, so that we can be able to, so that the rehab recovery process will be a little easier on her and also onto her family. So thank you for what you've done so far. If when you work out the details on Sunday, please let me know. I will be or let Michael know. I will definitely share it everywhere I can. As the church share, we can also have the link and we can share it so other people can participate. So just let us know what we need to do to spread this effort. I've also shared the flyer on our page so that people can see about it. But we want to say, may all your efforts not go in vain. The fact that you've stepped up to do this, and even to all of the Liberians, the people in Iowa also that will be participating. We want to say thank you for what you've done so far.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Such kind words. I just praise God. It's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to be walking in your purpose. As I shared about the Oklahoma matter, 13 years ago, 19 years, 20 years ago, I did this in Georgia when a Liberian was murdered. The Lord has blessed me to do this in New Jersey. Where else? Alabama, Rhode Island. And so over the last 20 something years, I've come to understand this is what the Lord has me doing. Yeah. I've accepted it. And so thank you. As I said, my lovely wife is extremely supportive. She's juggling. Even as I'm talking to you, usually this time is when we assist the younger kids with the homework. And I hear her fumbling, trying to fulfill my responsibility and hers. And so, yeah, I've had great support. And yes, I thank you. I take you up on the offer. Yes. I will come back, God willing, to give some accountability. And hopefully at that time, we will have more developments on the medical mission. And I will be coming back, hopefully at that time, to do fundraising for that effort as well. But we'll eat the big elephant one bite at a time. We'll focus on this Sunday. We'll raise funds, and to God be the glory. Thank you so very much to each of you, Agatha, Michael, and yes, thank you as well, Glendy.
Before you go, Judge Johnson, really quickly, I know everyone is really focused on Jessica, and rightfully so. I personally, as you were talking about Jessica, I'm thinking about Jesse and the other child. So I want to do something for the family. How can I get to them? Can you give us some information?
Yes, I have all of their numbers. I will share that with you offline.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, they wants me to do this online, but I will share.
Please, yeah.
Father, the mother, the son, and even Jessica, but she's not talking much. But yeah, I'll share all the numbers with you. Jesse, I've talked to on a couple of occasions. He's a young man. He's ambitious. He says he has a dream of doing IT. Of course, the means are not there right now to be in school, but he's trying to hold on and remain positive and have hope that things will get better. So yeah, Jesse is part of the package that needs help as well.
Yeah.
That what cheering. And I watch cheering.
That cheering will come in.
Cheering.
Michael already adopted.
Amen. Thank you, Michael, for the adoption.
Right. Oh, man, no problem. So yeah, there's one question somebody had out here, just concerning giving to the family. So for those of you out there who I know are touched with this, please follow our page. We'll post the flyer for Sunday. And then after Sunday, after we've done our part with the church, after Sunday, then we'll look at other avenues to keep the giving going. Because we know that in America, everybody don't pay on Friday. Some people say next Friday. Hey.
And somebody they finish spending the money they're supposed to get on Friday.
So we know how it goes. So we'll provide the avenue for people to keep giving after Friday, after Sunday. But let's focus on Sunday right now. Get that done, and then we'll go forward from there. Thank you so much, Melvin, for coming on.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Josh.
Thanks all of you. Thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you so very much.
All right. You have a good evening.
Mrs. Johnson with that. God, thank you for her.
Yeah, so tell them thank you. And the next time in Atlanta, I'm coming by the crib. I'm coming by the crib.
Hey, man, you blend it up into your house. It's just sharing one food to eat.
All right, Judge, we'll see you.
My wife is a true Liberian woman. She's very skillful in the kitchen. So come
There
on.
we go. I tell you, yeah.
We coming to Georgia.
Okay,
As you see, I'm not making any meals.
I know.
You're not looking hungry.
All right, bye-bye, Judge. Okay.
My God, get that man number. Let me send one back right to the house for Jesse then.
Okay, all right. I'll message it to you.
Thank
There
you.
we have it. So now you have some information on Jessica, how she's doing. We too can be a part of this initiative. Even if it's $5 that you want to give, you can give it. We can use. I don't know if I don't have Cash App, but we can also share our Cash App information. If you want to send the money through us, you can send it through us. We would definitely make sure that it gets into the hand. If some of you, because some people, they don't want to go to the website, they don't have the time. If it's a simple Cash App, we'll share either Michael or Agatha's Cash App, whoever. Whatever the
will go to them.
Yes. Whatever you send, we will make sure that they get that. But we need to be a part. This is a story that we don't want to we want to be a part of it in a way that it helps bring Jessica back to recovery.
Yes.
And it also helps her parents. Just hearing that she has a twin brother. I'm a mother of twins, so that's kind of hard for him to see his sister and not be able to see her. It's just a bond that it's probably broken right now with her being sick and not together. But we want to do what we can to assist in these efforts. All right.
How you can make twins?
That's the most important thing. I even in the mood to answer any question after hearing this story. I will catch you. I will respond to your community later. Oh my God, that was something else to hear. But that
I know it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, you know,
I'm so grateful that somebody with such a great character and reputation took this up.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm relieved of that. So people don't have to worry. But hey, I wonder, how things are going to go. So it's great. Most people see Jessica, all they know of Jessica is that, the picture and her being sick. But I came across her TikTok. She's a very lively and vibrant woman. Somebody shared a TikTok of her, and she was dancing, and I'm like, wow. It showed a really different side of her.
Yeah.
Of a real 21-year-old,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 8:25 now. We're ending the show.
Oh, we got
I actually have another meeting that I'm late for, but I sent message already that I'm gonna be.
I was gonna say, I say you late.
I think you have 5 minutes. Yeah.
I'm glad of two things that Judge Johnson said. I know because he is a judge, a steward of the law, that he will ensure that justice, to the best of its ability in Liberia, will be served.
Yeah.
And then secondly, he seems like an honorable man. I'm gonna use that word correctly today. An honorable man he seemed to be an honorable man. I don't know him personally, but from what I can tell, and I'm a pretty good judge of character, my spirit took him that he will do the right thing. I guess spirit. He will do the right thing by Jessica. Yes, by Jessica and her family. So I encourage you all to please donate.
Yes.
I'm done with this. So we
We
can
will
move on.
right after the show. We will share the Cash App and attach it to. We'll do a flyer with the Cash App and share it so that you can make your donations through GBC, and then we'll definitely make sure that the family gets the funding. If you like, Agatha has already started leading. She's gonna send rice. If you want to send something for soup, if you want to send something for clothes, if you want to send something for Jesse, whatever it is, we're gonna adopt those 2 children as our kids here on
If
GBC.
you get an old laptop sitting around your
Whatever
office
you have. The fact that Jesse wants to go to school, if you want to send money to we can connect with him. We've been able to give somebody a brand new, the book can say brand new laptop before in Liberia. So what can we not do here on this podcast, on this show? So we'll share our flyer, we'll share it, and we'll share the Cash App. Please make donations so that at least between now and the weekend we would have had something to send to the family from us here, connecting here. All right, what's trending? Which story I want?
You can like to talk about the election, man. Stop playing.
What happened to Carl's grave?
Please, here, not here. All right, I'm telling you.
That's Zoko.
Really, and I took a picture yesterday and I clipped out, I cut it out and I fixed it. That's a picture he took to make a message today to congratulate Prince. So I finished leaving him now. So now he not accept defeat. Next time, when God gave him number, he will not let her beg you leave him. He will do the job he's supposed to do. Ready? Play the English there. Pass it all around and somebody sing for him. Yeah, now he's not go sit down. No money again for Paris.
Paris Moho.
Paris Moho. You gotta go to Paris.
We know your Eve daughters. We know your. They want the money not fini. Paris Moho at all. Yeah, we know you.
Yeah, man. The nature passing around speaking book, carry trouble to elderly people and all. What kind of trouble it is?
The men are what? Zobo. But
God see our caras, you know, sit down, pan today, you know, and the way, and our Prince too, the way Prince fan passing.
The beginning is dress.
Oh, Prince fan passing.
He look like he got on that cologne and
Coros. My arm hurting me. He got a chorus with Giorgio Patini shoes.
That ain't it. That high looking.
You see how Prince was standing on that small thing and Prince got him Nelson Mandela cut? Look at he's a freedom fighter.
I want to the people.
Oh, he's a freedom fighter and that small thing there. Right now, Prince is the landlord for Akara Spray.
Oh, yeah.
In that district. Oh Lord!
I can't wait. I said I'm a
ball. You can't say that. Here.
I love me. I beg you, please introduce me to Yaga. I really want you to be my
friend. I get to you.
Don't matter foodie people, man. That man. You think that woman that bleaching statue want to spit out in front of me?
What day Yage will answer his phone. Let me tell you right now.
If you say he texts or you call him, he will respond.
Please introduce me to him. He said he has a fan in me. I love me so Yage.
You saw him right there. When the people were asking, the people say, "Oh, so you celebrating with it?" You said, "No, today my birthday. I celebrate it." Yeah, Kuluma ain't got time for nothing. He want to know. Me, I just waiting. Tomorrow that Josephine Davis Day, if I hear her congratulating again, I will take her straight through the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. I will post any picture. Josephine shopping sprees. If you do not congratulate my brother Yeke and Concede to your defeat. Tomorrow morning when I woke up, like a picture, they are coming. You know the picture you were in the mall in America. Like the first one was start for with the bags. And I want to start for. You're gonna be you, man. Go sit down.
Yeah, that market rule.
All right, close.
Let's talk about my friend Apeto. So first of all of y'all, I put it on my page. So if you better your business, if the shoe fits you, wear it.
Wear it.
You know,
we in the news. That election we were talking.
All of y'all, you know, Apeto. Y'all, you know how that man reached to Morovia. So how he took time off his job in Houston or Dallas. I don't even know what place he at.
He took Dallas.
Posting long time picture with Apeto, my bro, my friend. Just set your fancy self down. Okay? That's why Liberia the way it is. They not start calling the man family people asking for a job. He didn't even win the election. They're already begging for a job. Talking about where they want to be located and what.
But he get job to give them.
No, but
he better report to work Monday because his boss called him yesterday.
The taxi, he got 4 weeks vacation time. He finished the 4 weeks yet.
4 weeks, the boss said you better, he get good job, good bank job. Tell you a job over there, go sit down in Morovia, you appetite. Okay.
No, but if the man get a bank job, you know we are not coming get him central bank to run. We even know what he's doing yet and how we are going to do it. And how they can do it.
Nah, they can do it.
Appetite is a real. I tell you, the crew man can say, "Nah, you chat. That's too much. You chat. I mean, I get the people a hard time. Jesus, chat in the middle of things. Where you coming from, brother?"
He got posting picture. He posting picture.
Yeah, he posting picture. He put his grassroots movement. Grassroots movement. I saw grass. You better go to Yaka to go learn some songs.
Yeah.
You better go to Yaka, move your crocodile ball. Let Yaka sit down.
He said because of your let put all jokes aside. Coming to the thing where catch my heart. He said, GDM, real champions. Thanks for the hard work. Because of you, we are here. I will have to respectfully disagree, Apeto.
Don't mind.
That is not because of your people, it's where you are.
Don't mind.
There are 2 things. 1 thing for certain, 2 things for sure. One is, it's possible it was an honest mistake, but we know we're talking about Liberia here. So, I'm not naive, but I have to be politically correct.
Correct.
It's possible that it was an honest mistake. I'm gonna call your attention to 2 things if you haven't looked at it yet. The first one is the ballot box where the people check. Our people are so illiterate, and I'm sad because they're gonna suffer because of their ignorance. And ignorance is not an insult in this case, okay? They're suffering because of their ignorance. We teach the people to check that inside the box. So our NEC now that can cheat, they decided to count it to where the check mark ended. And not where it began. That's the first thing. The second thing, we saw backwards, they used carbon paper to tell the thing. The carbon paper shifted. So in the title, if you look at the balance sheet for NEC, in the title, the first number appears in the title where it says number. You see the first 0. The second number enter Appleton box. It said 206. The third one says 0. The fourth one said 10 or 11. If you just, I'm going to say adjust. If you know Excel, you adjust, shift down 1. Adjust, shift down 1. Appleton will have 0. And Breakout will have 206. Allen Brown will have 0. And Mr. Cummings will have 10. So those are the types of things that we need to look at. So Abator, I know you to be, I thought you were a man of integrity. I hope I'm still right. You saw all of these things. I'm hopeful that, you would not rejoice in the mistake that led you to where you are, but you will set the record straight. We are watching. I said it before, you are in a great position, but it depends on what you do with the position that you're in. Sure. I don't see you as a man of integrity now because I haven't seen anything. I see you rejoicing of a mistake. You know within yourself those numbers aren't your numbers. Come on, man. So we're watching 2020 now. It depends on what you do today. You still got a chance. You still have a chance to do right. But we're watching 2029 coming. That's my 2 cents.
Wonder
Okay.
what you gotta add to your cousin.
No, my cousin, we're good. We're good. I know Abington was head of the Houston ANC USA chapter.
A year coming, made him first coming, get him position so that the team made he can't run. And he just jump behind whoever he jump behind to catch Cllr Cummings number. That's how I was looking.
So I think he was trying to make his own way.
Okay.
You know, yeah. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. So I'm very, very excited about all the people that were voted out. For me, I'm more excited about the people that were voted out than the people that were voted in. Solomon George.
Oh yes.
Chimbos.
My boyfriend, my boyfriend. Thank God.
The kid that wants someone to go put in the incident. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what this group will bring.
Well,
so are you confirming that Abington is upset because he didn't get a position with ANC? Are you confirming that?
No. I had no idea about that.
No, you're in a seat with ASI for ANC.
I had no idea of Abington being passed over for position.
Oh, okay.
But so, he was there.
There were a few of them that was there in our Texas area. They just Cllr.
Yeah, I have no knowledge of that. I mean, when I joined,
you have no knowledge, or you refuse.
No, I have no knowledge. I'm actually from the Minnesota chapter.
Let me tell you,
Midwest, I have no knowledge of that. Your call, Rosalie.
ELDC is a very reputable news agency. ELDC say they said the man was there with Cummings treat him right, so he just decided to join with the other people and just Cllr the whole team for Cummings.
They do what they think about it is that so. Somebody, I thought about it a little bit because somebody was saying whether your go or your kind of the votes are legitimate, we understand that. But he said he but not feel that he legitimate.
Exactly.
He but not feel it. We understand that people voted because they saw the need, so they voted. So why he coming to come out now like he was actually running for president? Really?
He knew he was not going to win. He just
wanted to go back America. That's what.
You better come to work. You better come out to where your wife and children waiting for you. You
stop it now. Like, I thought you said, hey, boss, taxi again. Let's take
the boss. That story. Asking me. I just jump over her. You see, he thirsty $1. I say, you be there. Wow, I run my tea at home.
I know. One day she put $1 million Houston. The next day she carried him $. Smart now. They were so transparent.
So, folks, anyway, we're still Liberian elections continue.
Well, I'm headed to Houston, so I will definitely be meeting with Abington when I get there.
Okay, very good.
You must take it and post still.
I will.
So you can know a presidential
interview.
You do interview.
GeesBeeCee will be in the house. I will interview him. Let him talk.
Y'all know y'all can put me there. I ain't got no power with my mouth.
No, we know better. We know better. That's why I'll interview.
I had a friend that you can put on speaker for me. My nephew can say, Auntie, you're live in the box. You're live in the box.
Folks, thank you for watching. We're still looking. We still don't. So who leading today for the Liberian elections? It closed down. It finished now?
I thought it finished.
It was 100%.
I don't know, guys.
I didn't listen. I didn't watch NTD today.
But they get hold on, Clenny. Let me say something. I know we're joking. My people, 2020 now, when I be in the scenes here too late, I beg you. That face it here. That juice up the server. So we will be able to, we don't have to listen to that woman read. It's painful. It's painful to listen to her read those numbers. Y'all update the website. Let's go there. Yeah. You say something information. Read numbers.
They call it the reading number. They say ABC. ABC plus EFG.
Yeah,
folks, thank you for watching.
Nima outstanding.
Oh, you say what?
There are 2 polling stations in Nima that are outstanding.
Oh, but I thought they said there's other 2 that they're gonna go be voting on the 20th for tomorrow.
It might be the Nima one. There are 2.
The one with the empty ballot box.
Yeah, I think so. There's other vote tomorrow.
Yeah, that's in Nima then. The rest of the country is 100%.
All right, so folks, there you have it. Tomorrow we'll know who the president is. For now, until the 7th, November 7th is the what they call it?
Second.
November 7th.
You sure?
SEVENTH.
The 7th is Tuesday. The 7th is Tuesday. So
I work directly with NTD. November. Somebody say everybody like NTD.
Yeah, she related to everybody.
NTD, she want to know when she finish, we'll put our maxi and we'll go on the beach and walk.
Man, whoever when you please hire me to go to your inauguration.
That I will want to. So go wear clothes. But people, yeah, bye. I will see you until next week, Thursday.
All right.